Hello everyone, my name is Michael Torrio and I am an OpenSearch Specialist SA here at AWS, and in today's video, I'll be showing you how you can integrate Amazon OpenSearch ingestion with your Amazon Aurora and RDS databases. So let's get started. So here's the big news. A couple months ago, we released an integration with Aurora and RDS databases, extending our new real-time data synchronization capabilities to relational databases. So this integration supports Aurora MySQL and Postgres, as well as RDS MySQL and Postgres. You need MySQL version 8 or higher, and for Postgres 16 or higher for this integration. It provides new real-time change data capture and supports both full and incremental synchronization. However, there are some key limitations you need to be aware of. The database and the OpenSearch cluster must be in the same AWS account or region, and you can only have one database per pipeline. And also, multi-AZ DB clusters are currently not supported. However, despite these limitations, this integration dramatically simplifies getting relational data into OpenSearch for search and analytics. The data flow for this integration follows a similar pattern to the integration with DynamoDB. First, we perform an initial snapshot export to S3, then load that into Amazon OpenSearch service. Second, continuous CDC or change data capture streaming provides new real-time synchronization. For MySQL, we are using binary logging, and for Postgres, we are using logical replication. So this ensures that all changes to your relational database are reflected in OpenSearch within seconds. For this integration, the prerequisites vary by database type. For MySQL, you need to enable binary logging with row format and full image, and also enable automated backups. And for Postgres, you need to enable logical replication and configure the wall level parameter. And so this setup process involves configuring these database settings and then creating the integration pipeline through the AWS console or through API. And so now that we are done with the background, let's go into the AWS console to see how this integration works. So from the AWS homepage, let's first look at how the database is configured. So for that, I'll go into Aurora and RDS, into DB instances, and we can see that I have one database called OSIS DB for demo purposes. I'll click into it. And if we go into configuration, we can see that under DB cluster parameter group that I am using a custom parameter group called DB params Postgres. And if I click into this parameter group, we can see that I have Aurora Enhanced Logical Replication enabled. In addition to a cluster parameter group, we can see that under authentication that I'm using a secrets manager key for authentication, which is the only supported way of creating this integration when configuring the pipeline. To look at the data within the Postgres database that we have, we'll be using Cloud Shell within the AWS console. And for the first command we'll run is just one to look at the different tables that we have within the database. So I'll give this a run, and we can see that we have 5 tables within the public schema that are categories, customers, order items, orders, and products. And if we look at the current products table, we can see how the data is structured. Very simple. All it has is the product ID, name, price, and the stock quantity. So now that we have an idea of what the data looks like in our database, let's go to the Amazon OpenSearch service homepage to see how we configure this pipeline, and then to OpenSearch dashboards to see how this table looks like within our OpenSearch domain. So I'll exit out of Cloud Shell and go to the OpenSearch homepage. And on the left-hand side, there'll be a section called Ingestion. So I'll navigate to Dashboard. When you click on Dashboard within Ingestion, you should see an orange button called Visual Pipeline, which allows you to select 47 different blueprints for you to choose from to create your ingestion pipeline. You can see at the top that you have Aurora, MySQL, and Postgres, and at the bottom you have RDS, MySQL, and Postgres. All right, now that I am in the ingestion portion of the Amazon OpenSearch service homepage, we can see that I have two running pipelines right now. One of these is the demo pipeline that we'll be working with today, and I'll click on edit to make this bigger for us to go through. All right, so here's the pipeline configuration that I have for the demo today, and I created this using the visual editor that we have, and this is also available for Aurora MySQL and RDS MySQL and Postgres as well. We can see that under the source, RDS is specified with the database identifier, also the engine and the specific database as well. And we can see those 5 tables that I included here within the pipeline configuration, which are categories, products, customers, orders, and order items. After that, we can see that I have an S3 bucket specified because I do want an area to store exports that I have enabled for this integration. And since I have exports enabled, we can see that I had to specify a KMS key and an IAM role to do that exporting. Also, I have stream set to true because I do want to capture the CDC information after I do the export. And we can see that under authentication, like I said earlier, the only supported way right now is through Secrets Manager. So we can see the username and password reflected right here. And if I scroll down a bit more, we can see under extension that I have the secret ID specified right here. And that is the same one that we saw in the RDS and Aurora page as well. And lastly, we have the sync, which in this case is OpenSearch. And we see that I have the host specified right here, as well as we can see that the index is mapped to the specific table names that we have specified here as well. All right, now that we have a quick rundown of what the pipeline configuration looks like, let's go to domains under managed clusters. And we can see that I have one domain running right here called OSIS demo. And so I'll just navigate into it by using OpenSearch dashboards URL. All right, now that we are logged into the OpenSearch dashboards homepage, I'll go into DevTools and I'll run a simple get cat indices. And we can see that here are 5 new indices that match the tables in our Aurora Postgres database. We see that we have products, orders, customers, categories, and order items. And if I run another command here to see what items are here, we can see that we now have access to the different items here for search within OpenSearch. We see under the products here, we have a travel adapter, we have a JavaScript guide, and so on. And if you're paying attention when I was walking through the pipeline configuration, you saw that I had no index mapping specified. So if we look at products, we can see that OpenSearch ingestion pipeline automatically created the mapping for us. We can see that category ID, created at, description, all of these were mapped to different data types. You may see from your testing that there may be some values that don't get routed to the appropriate mapping. And that's okay, because within the pipeline configuration, you can specify a stricter mapping if you don't want those to be dynamically mapped to an OpenSearch index. All right, now that we've seen all of our data in our Postgres database in those 5 different tables is now within OpenSearch, we can now use OpenSearch to perform search. So for this next command here, what we'll do is search for an item that has this SKU number, which is -002. I'll perform the search and we can see that there is no return results because this item does not exist in our Postgres database yet. So I'll switch tabs back to Cloud Shell and I'll run a command that will add this dashboard demo2 item with the SKU number of -002. And now if we go back into OpenSearch dashboards, we should see this item reflected in OpenSearch dashboards. in near real time. And that brings me to the end of this demo. And there you have it, this new integration between Amazon OpenSearch Ingestion and Amazon Aurora and RDS is now available for you to try in your own AWS account. As always, there will be a link below to a blog post that goes over this integration more in detail, as well as AWS official documentation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Amazon OpenSearch service content, and feel free to drop a comment below if you have any questions about this integration. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.